Трясет нас немножко.
Нас трясет. Марина, тихо.
Марина, спокойно, все хорошо, все хорошо. Дорогие друзья, напомню, что у нас живем мы на Камчатке. Отойдите.
Все 10.
The whales try to warn us before that earthquake hit. They came to shore. 5 beluga whales washed up on shore hours before the earthquake hit, y'all. If you didn't notice yet, the animals always try to tell us when something bad is about to come. And it's us to pick it up and understand and listen. But do we do that? No. Just like the situation in Yellowstone. It's always the animals that know before us. Now, the only thing I'm trying to figure out is, they knew the earthquake was coming. They watched the shore right where the epicenter started. Only thing I'm trying to figure out now is, what caused this damn earthquake? 8.8? What if something in the ocean was getting loose like a creature or some shit? What if that's what they was running from? A big ass creature that caused this seismic activity. I'm not saying that's what it is, I'm just thinking, y'all. What do y'all think down below in the comments? This earthquake was so massive, they had to do evacuations for tsunami warnings. In Japan, the whole goddamn West Coast, Hawaii. Like, what? The fuck is going on, y'all? Y'all see that shit? It's crazy. This shit is wild, y'all. Now, I believe this was probably the second most worst earthquake ever recorded. I could be wrong, but let me know in the comments.
All right, I'm going to be sharing with you the latest video footage, photos and articles coming out on what they're saying is a volcano that is erupting after the 8.8 magnitude earthquake struck yesterday evening, and we saw tsunami warnings going out across the Pacific. Take a look at the articles with me. I'm going to share with you the photos that are coming out on this. I don't have video footage, I misspoke, but I do have photographs that we're going to be taking a look at here as 8.8 magnitude earthquake, the latest. A volcano erupts in Russia. Tsunami waves reach California. A camera captures the eruption of the Klyuchevskaya Skopa volcano. Volcano in Russia's far east erupts after huge Pacific earthquake. Now, the volcano erupted after a huge 8.8 magnitude earthquake caused tsunami waves in the Pacific. And here's another one. Russia's volcano starts erupting after the earthquake. And here's another live update for you on the tsunami. Tsunami evacuation orders have been lifted in Hawaii. The threat to the West Coast has eased. On the live updates, the tsunami alert that was in place and was still going on throughout the rest of the day, as they were saying there was still the potential for this to take place. And now we're hearing volcano is erupting in Russia after that quake. Man, let me know your thoughts. Now, I've been hearing a ton of conspiracy theories across the board, but you can't count them out nowadays, because come to find out later on that the conspiracy theories were actually right. Let me know your thoughts. Now, I have heard across social media that this is just natural taking place. I've heard other people say this is weather manipulation. I've heard people say that God is angry with Russia right now. And I've also heard some people speculate that this was some sort of underground nuclear test with Russia that went bad, which caused all of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Was this God mad at Russia? Was this natural? Was this a nuclear bomb that went off? Or is this weather manipulation? Is this, I think they said HARP. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Which one? Put which one you think it is. There's 4 different theories that I've heard, and I'd be curious to see what people think. Now, all right, I'm going to be curious to see what people think. Now, all right, I'm going to be
Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Racha Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the Great Millstone who do rule and teach well. Peace and blessing salutations as always to the hopefully elect Tabernacle of David. out there listening, learning, keeping the faith and diligence of our Lord Yahweh Shai, occupying the prophecies until all is fulfilled and Lord will be our redeemed. So, today, yesterday, you had this massive 8.8 earthquake, which they're saying now is like the biggest earthquake that there's ever been in recorded history. All right, since they've been keeping record of it. So this is a sign to let you know, that we definitely in those times, among other things, and that the Lord is coming back real, real soon. All right. As you heard Steve Ram say, he's heard different theories and things like that of what this, of what could have caused this. But, overall, no matter if it's Esau using his weather manipulation, if they was doing some underground nuclear test that went wrong, or, as he said, too, that this is, the wrath of Yahweh Bashmel Shai on Russia, you know what I'm saying? And we know we're in a heavy time of judgment right now. And just as you saw a few weeks ago with the Yellowstone Park, all the animals started leaving. You had beluga whales pretty much beaching themselves, just before this earthquake occurred. All right. So that goes to show you right there that anytime that the Lord about to bring judgment, the animals know. All right. Because the animals are more in tune with Yahweh Bashmel Shai than mankind. You see, more in tune with the earth and the frequencies and the vibrations and things of that nature. All right. So bottom line is this, man, we in a time of judgment, and these are the birth pains that the earth is experiencing. Okay. Let's go to Psalms, the 19th chapter. All right. Real quick, then we'll get to article. Psalms 19. And we can start at verse 6. Psalms 19 and verse 6, KJV. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. And don't the scripture say that we have a more sure word of prophecy? Okay, and the things that we see in today's time confirm to us, the true believers, right, that the words of the Heavenly Father are faithful and true. These things are happening. All right, these visions are not tearing no longer. These things are happening now at a rapid pace because this world is hastily passing away. Verse 8, the statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. You see, so earthquakes are a part of the Lord's judgment, just like hurricanes and tornadoes and hailstorms and tsunamis and, whatever else that you want to name. People getting devoured by wild beasts. All these things entail the judgment of Yahweh Bashmel Shai. And the scriptures say that they are true and righteous altogether. All right. So when you go here, right, because after this 8.8 earthquake occurred, you had a volcano erupt out there. You see, volcano erupts following tremors in eastern Russia. Scientists warn of stronger quake. And see, 8.8 is really unprecedented. Like I've never heard of an 8.8 in my lifetime, and I'm sure you other brothers as well, have not heard of such a thing. Okay, but these scientists, they're warning of a stronger quakes to come. And the scriptures tell you that that there's going to be a great earthquake. And what is that? Revelation. The 6th chapter. Let's get that real quick. Because type in great earthquake. I think that's Revelation, though, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, here we go. Revelation 6 and verse 12. Scriptures talk about there being a great earthquake, to where the islands are going to move out of their places, and that, land mass is going to be ripped in half. This here we go. The sixth seal, terror. Revelation 6 and verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. All right, so this earthquake that's being spoken of here in Revelation, the 6th chapter, which is coming soon, this thing is going to be way off the Richter scale. You know what I'm saying? This thing going to be so powerful, you ain't even going to be able to measure how powerful that it is, man. All right, this thing gonna shake the whole earth. This earthquake that's being spoken of here, this thing is gonna move islands and mountains out of their places, man. That's how strong this thing is gonna be. All right, so there's really no measure that you can put that on the Richter scale, man. This is that's gonna be some out of this world power. But that's Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And then it goes on to say that, the kings of the earth, the elites, you know what I'm saying? They gonna be in their bunkers, and they gonna tell the rocks to fall on them, man, to hide them from the wrath of the Lamb, because they gonna know what time it is when that happens. You see? So going back here, right? One of Russia's most active volcanoes in the far eastern region of Kamchatka has erupted, spewing lava and ash as high as 8 kilometers above sea level. Says the Shaivuluk, I guess Shaivuluk volcano started sputtering after a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck the far eastern region of Kamchatka on Sunday. The volcano is located about 280 miles away from, I ain't even going to try to pronounce that, which has a population of about 180,000. The earthquake that hit the region had the epicenter 67 miles southeast of the nearest city under the sea level, according to Russian authorities. No incidents of injuries or damage were reported. However, buildings are now being examined for potential damage, with special attention paid to social facilities. All right, so this earthquake out there was pretty serious. All right, you saw the videos. Now you got this earthquake that done erupted out there. No doubt, Yellowstone earthquake is going to be next. They got tsunami warnings. So the Lord is very angry, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is very is ready to tear this world up, because the wickedness that's being done within the earth is at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying? Rebellion against the Heavenly Father is at an all-time high. So this is why now, and we'll get it, this is why now the Lord must address, the wicked inhabitants of this earth, man. See, this is why you look around, people losing everything. You know what I'm saying? People losing their mental health, demons jumping on people. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of deletions and just strange anomalies going on out here that you wouldn't even know. All right, so this is 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. All right, so earthquakes and uproars, people protesting against their government, people protesting for higher pay, and protesting against AI, people just rising up against their governments, man. All these things are signs to look to know that the earth, that the Yahweh Bashem Shai is visiting the world which he made. He's visiting the earth. Okay, this should tell you that we're at the time of the end. Time is very short. And that's why it says in verse 1 to what? Measure thou the time diligently in itself. You know what I'm saying? So we supposed to be looking at these things going on, engaging the time, just like how they got the doomsday clock. I think the doomsday clock is closer to midnight than it's ever been. I think it's like 30-something seconds or 20 seconds, something like that. But that's a spiritual clock, man, showing, how much, time is left on this earth. And we're literally, we're not in the last days no more. You know what I'm saying? We're in the last seconds of these last days. Okay? We're in the last moments, man. Like, it's really about to go down out here. You got chariot sightings all over the place. You got earthquakes in diverse places, just as our Lord Yahweh Shah said there would be. You got false prophets out here at an all-time high. You have, scoffers at an all-time high. Wickedness in general at an all-time high. The devil, he's he's doing what the devil's doing, but he's ramping up as well, you know. So if you can't see that we in that time, man, and be applying yourself with a sense of urgency, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You know, the Lord gonna take you out. You know, reading on verse 4. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. You see, so all these effects and signs are taking place in today's time, man. And this is a beautiful time to be alive. You know, so this is a amazing time to be in the truth, man, because, you know, all the things that, you know, we've been speaking of through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashmi Shah, these things are happening. You know what I'm saying? And we can readily observe these things and see, hey, we told you so. You know, this is 2 Ezra 16 and verse 36. Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. Yeah, right. Then Yahweh shall say this is the beginning of sorrows, when you begin to see nation rise up against nation and earthquakes in diverse places and famine and pestilence, right? There's a you know, heavy famine going on right now in the land of Gaza and other places around the earth. All right. So this is why, you know, we are to measure the time, man, because there's a lot going on that the mainstream media is not showing you because there's a media blackout. But if you were to really dig and actually find what's going on in the earth, then you would well understand, man, that we're really very, very close to the end of this world. And you can just feel it. You can just feel that the vibration is different. You know, just, you know, this world ain't the same like how it was years ago, man. Even before the pandemic, it's like, you know, pre-pandemic 2019 and before that was like a whole different world, man. You know, I'm sure going back to the time of the 911, before that, it was a whole different world. You know what I'm saying? So in time periods and increments, you know, things change and you know, we're at the point of no return. You know what I'm saying? Like Yahweh Shah is coming back very soon. Okay. Emphasis on very. Yeah, the 39, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, these are the birth pains, okay? Just you know, just like when a woman is pregnant with a child, and, you know, the closer that she gets, you know, the closer that she gets to having that child, the birth pains increase until the child come forth. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing we seeing within the earth, man, because the earth is a living entity, okay? The earth is alive, man. You see? So the closer that we get to the return of Yahweh Shai, the more that these plagues, these judgments are going to turn up within the earth. Okay, that's why when you look, you know, 20, 30, 40 years ago, you wasn't seeing no 8.8 earthquakes go off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wasn't seeing so many earthquakes happen, you know? You got earthquakes going off in some parts of the earth that's happening like minutes apart. You'll have 1,000 earthquakes in one day happen in one part of the earth, and another part is 50 happening within a couple hours. Like, it's crazy, man. But this is what Yahweh Shah spoke of, man. And these are the things that we supposed to look to again, gauge the time. All right? Because, hey, this thing ain't no joke. This thing is deadly serious, all right? And, you know, as Yahweh Shah said, man, that he going to come as a thief in the night. People ain't watching. People are just, you know, out here, you know, on their leads, settled in, comfortable, all right? But in your comfort, that's when your destruction is going to come because you ain't been watching, you see? A lot of things about to come down the pipeline that people just ain't ready for, you know? So let's go to 2nd Ezra's, the 15th chapter. 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 5. It says, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. That's what's coming, man. Mass death is about to envelop the whole of the earth. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled, just like during the time of Noah. It tells you that, the earth was full of violence, saying that the thoughts of man were only evil continually. We in that same time, people just have nothing but wickedness and violence on their minds 24/7. All right. Outside of the hopeful elect, man, people not thinking about Yahweh Shemel Shai. People not trying to live a righteous life. People, you know what I'm saying? People trying to live it up and, do what they want to do. Betrayal is at an all-time high. Just people just being cold-hearted. Look, man, it ain't no love out here for real. Ain't no love out here, man. This is a very wicked, sick world, all right? And this is why the Lord is manifesting the end, because this place got to go. You know what I'm saying? Righteousness got to be set back up on the earth, man, because the way that this world is going, everything is suffering. Everything is dying under the rule of the wicked. Reading on. Yeah, let me read it again. Verse 6, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. So the Lord not going to just sit back and just watch these people do what they do, man. See, now the Lord is addressing these wicked people, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. So this is the time that we in, man. See, this is the time where the Lord is about to lay judgment upon the earth, And this ain't nothing yet, man. All right. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you seeing flash floods, unprecedented flash floods. You seeing tsunamis, earthquakes, tornadoes, and hell. Look, man, we come into the time where these things are going to be a normal occurrence. You see, we coming into a time where these things are going to be turned up to the max. See, you're going to be having all these things happen at one time. And you see, that's when people are going to understand, even though people are starting to see now, which is why you have so many more people that are trying to know what's going on. Even a lot more people are coming to our pages, man, because we're in that time. But bottom line is this, man, that there's a lot of strange activity going on within the earth, within the heavens, to where people do not have answers as to what's going on. So now they seeking the vision of the prophet, okay? And, hey, the scriptures say to seek ye the Lord while he may be found. The time, in which Yahweh Bashmel Shai can be found is rapidly coming to an end, all right? Because the doors of mercy are closing. This is why you see the death is turned up out here, all right? Because the doors of the spiritual ark are closing. And if you ain't on it, then you're going to be a casualty, you see? So, we're just going to keep watching, for what the Lord is doing within the earth, and stay prayed up, stay prayed up, keep walking in the paths of righteousness that lead to salvation, man, because, hey, just look at the world. Look at the way that the world is going. What do you have to lose here? Not a damn thing, man. All right, it's time to invest in Yahweh Bashmel Shai. It's time to invest in the kingdom of heaven, man, because this world is over with, through. All right, so with that,